Welcome to part 20 of Vegas Pro Essentials. A huge aspect of video production is working with audio. Even if your video edit looks amazing, great sound can enhance your viewer's experience and lift your production to another level. You don't need to be an audio engineer because Vegas Pro works with audio in a similar fashion to video, and it's all done within the same timeline. Let's check this out. Generally, audio comes in two flavors. Firstly, you get a standalone sound file. This audio could be separate camera audio, a pre-recorded voiceover, sound effects, or music. Vegas Pro supports most kinds of audio formats like WAV, AIFF, MP3, and more. Similar to video media, you can drag audio media directly to the timeline from Windows Explorer. This creates an audio track, or you can use an existing one. Audio tracks are identifiable with the small musical note and the waveforms on the event. You can also access audio via the Explorer tab or import it in the Project Media tab. The second way of getting audio is if it's attached to video media. In this case, you locate your video file and add it to the timeline. Video and audio is separated out into separate events and placed on the relevant tracks. Although they are technically separated events, synced video and audio are imported as grouped events. Wherever you move one event, the other will stay with it. To learn more about grouped events and working with synced media, please watch the Essentials video on working with synced video and audio. Focusing back on the timeline, audio events are treated exactly the same as video events when it comes to editing. You can select an event, move it, and split it with the split button in the timeline toolbar. All your trimming cursors will function the same, and you can extend or shorten the length of the audio. For instance, you want music under a certain part of the edit. You can stack multiple audio tracks on the timeline and play them all at once. If you want to focus on one specific piece of audio, tracks can be muted and soloed. Let's listen to these combined tracks. The music is too loud and we can't hear the talking. To fix this problem, audio events have a volume adjustment control. For video, this controls the opacity, but for audio, it controls the volume. Clicking and dragging it shows the gain value, and the waveforms also scale to the new volume. This tool is completely interactive. You can start the playback and adjust the audio until you get the right balance of music and talking audio. The other function, which is a must, is you can place the cursor on either end of the audio event and drag a fade in or fade out. Audio can be faded in or out smoothly instead of a sharp cut. Right-clicking on any fade will let you change the type of fade. Each type will fade the audio at a different pace, and you'll be able to choose the best one for you. The next aspect of working with audio is fading two events together. When you overlap grouped events or separate audio events together, a crossfade is automatically created. The length of the fade depends on how much time is overlapped. You can make the length longer or shorter by either trimming or moving the events on the timeline. You can place audio wherever you want in your edit, and you can adjust the volume of each event to get a good mix. But audio isn't just about volume, it's also about audio quality. For that, you can load up multiple VST plugins to apply various audio treatments. For example, to hear the talking more clearly over the music event, you would use EQ to adjust some frequencies in the music. To access the audio effects, click the Event Effects button on the audio event. This brings up the pop-up window with a range of audio tools to choose from. For this, we'll go with the modern equalizer. It looks complicated, but will perform a simple operation. Let's start playing the events.
Excessive cardio combined with dieting makes you a smaller version of yourself, not a tighter one.
By dragging down the mid-range region, you remove the music where talking occurs in the audio frequencies. This means that even though the music is playing, the talking sounds clearer and is not overwhelmed by the music. You can toggle the effect on and off to hear the difference.
Cardio combined with dieting makes you a smaller version of yourself, not a tighter one.
Now, I'm not going to look at any other audio effects in more detail in this video, but I do want to point out that there are plenty to choose from. Everything from EQ to compression, reverb, limiters, noise gates, etc. You shouldn't need to leave Vegas Pro to do any audio work. Another tool that you may find incredibly useful is VoiceOver to Timeline. This handy functionality lets you quickly record in the context of your edit. All you need is a decent microphone plugged into your PC and you're ready to go. To ensure Vegas Pro is looking at your microphone, open the Preferences via the Options menu. Choose the Audio Devices tab and ensure your microphone or recording interface is selected. Now, the first step to record to the timeline is to choose which audio track to record to. Click the More button for the receiving audio track and arm it for recording. Horizontal meters appear on the track, and if you test your microphone, you will see the VU meters picking up the audio. Next, move the timeline cursor to where you'd like the audio to start. And now get ready to record. Go to the Record button at the bottom left of the timeline toolbar and click once to start and once to stop. Welcome to your fitness journey. When you finish recording, a window will appear and it will show you the file location, file name, and you can choose to keep or delete the recording. Click Done to confirm. If you've finished recording audio, click the Track More button again and turn off Arm for Record. Depending on your setup, you might have a different location for audio recording. To change the location for future recordings, click the cog button for Project Properties and choose Audio. Here is the file location, and you can change it if you want. So here is the recorded audio, and you can play it back immediately. Welcome to your fitness journey. If the levels are too soft, there is a handy normalization tool in each event. Click the More button and choose Normalize. This brings up the audio levels to the same as the edit, and the voiceover should sound more balanced. Welcome to your fitness journey. You can proceed to work with the audio in the timeline like any other event. Let's move from working with individual audio events to working with audio tracks. The audio tracks in the timeline also have a volume and pan control. The purpose of these tools is you can adjust the volume of an entire track as well as pan the audio to left and right speakers if required. This affects all audio events on the chosen audio track. So you can make everything quieter or louder without going through each audio event on the track. This also works while playing the timeline. Taking this a step further, the track volume can also be animated over time. Right-click on the audio track and choose to insert a volume envelope. This works the same as animation curves seen in the previous video on animation. You can double-click the envelope to add points, and then you can adjust the volume animation. This can be used to balance audio levels on a track, or do a single audio animation across an edit of audio events. Right-clicking on any points lets you set exact values, as well as control the animation between points for different types of fades. One final tip before moving on is locking envelopes to events. Since the track volume is a separate curve from the events, you can move the events but leave the animation in the same place. For example, you've already animated the volumes as part of your audio mix, but you're still trying out different music to see what works. As you replace audio or move events, you don't need to redo the track volume animation. So that's ideal in this case, but not in others. To make the track volume more flexible with events, go to the Timeline toolbar and enable Locking Envelopes to Events. Moving any event now will keep the track volume animation locked to the event. Very handy. Lastly, the overall audio mix in Vegas Pro is controlled by the master audio bus located at the top right of the interface. There are loads of audio adjustments that can be made to the overall audio, but the important areas to mention are overall volume adjustment and VU metering. The last piece of advice I'll give you for audio is try to keep your levels below 0 dB. Anything above that will sound distorted. Ideally, keeping it between -3 dB and -6 dB should be fine. This is a rule of thumb. If you're uploading the video to social media, they'll have a system in place to make sure it fits to their standards. If you're sending it elsewhere, always check the delivery specs. We've covered every basic aspect of video production in Vegas Pro except one: rendering and exporting. I've saved that for the next video. See you shortly.